back to another episode of Public Opinion with your host, Pam and Vanetta. And welcome, Vanetta. Vanetta, this is our last show of the season. Can you believe that? That don't make any sense. Well, we do 6 shows a season. And normally we do, we put them out every 2 weeks. But I just can't believe that we are already at...
the time is ticking off. Tick, tick, tick,
tick, tick, tick, tick. We're at the end of the season. We're almost coming to the end of a year. And I wish I was at the end of my cold. I don't know what's going on. Now, I'm going to tell you, I was sick. I know you all probably heard in my voice the last show. I sounded sick, but I was like feeling better. I was getting ready to go on vacation, celebrate my grandson's 2nd birthday. And I have been sick literally now for 3 weeks. I am calling this a hybrid voodoo devil cold / flu. And it just lingers. It just stays around. Like it does not want to leave. It's like a person that won't leave your house. Or, that type. It's just does not know when to leave.
It's one of the worst flus I've ever had. COVID was worse. But this is the worst flu I ever had. I had it for 3 weeks, and it just like you said lingers, and then it goes up and down.
Yes,
how the intensity.
Yes, and that's what makes it so bad because it fools you. It makes you think that you're feeling better, and so you still feel like, okay, I can do some things. I went to an event, in my sorority, all kinds of people there because I thought I was better, and I was thinking, and so I probably maybe was reinfected maybe with something else. I don't know. It's almost like it hops up and down, and
I think it's that same thing. I mean, I found myself at an event, and the person sitting next to me, I said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." Why did you ask that? She said, "Because you're just staring off in space."
What you medicated?
I had taken a bunch of medication to be able to go.
Yeah, well, that's how I was for Disneyland. I took so much medication. I don't even know how I made it through Disneyland, but I made it through. But I crashed. When I tell you, by the end of the day, my body crashed. The next day, I had to stay in bed at the hotel. But at any rate, we're going to be talking about that this week, about staying healthy while being busy. And see, that's the thing. We still, at our age, we want to stay busy. You don't want to ever stop. When you retire, people always say when you retire or when you get older, you don't want to just stop. So you want to keep busy. You want to stay active. But at the same time, though, we have to stay healthy. And so that is this week we are going to be talking about that. And I'm anxious to get started. We're going to have one of the guests that we already had on the show. I asked her to come back. And so we'll have her back. And then we have another very exciting guest, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she has to say. But it's just important. We have got to keep ourselves healthy. And I was taking those power shots. I was doing all kinds of stuff, ginger and apple cider, all kind of. Honey, it's like that cold was like.
Thank you.
I was just trying to be funny.
But, yeah, it's like thank you. I never took that Zycam before. I was shooting it up my nose. I was like taking a hit.
Okay, it's amazing. I'll tell you, I went through a whole bottle of Theraflu. I have done Delsum. I did Sudafed. Sudafed is a joke. It doesn't work at all.
No, that was a waste of your time.
It was.
And I took the Alka-Seltzer one. I mean, I invested probably a good $75 in medications. And at the end of the day, I still was sick.
Absolutely. But we're going to get started and meet our guests for this week.
Okay.
First, we have Dionne Jones. Dionne is a gerontologist, licensed social worker, author, certified personal trainer, and wellness coach. She is the Chief Movement Officer of Age with Vibrancy, LLC in Cleveland, Ohio, a holistic wellness company with a mission to provide curated fitness and wellness programs for women aged 45 and older, looking to age well and vibrantly. Next, we have our dear friend, Dr. Arlonda Stevens. She is back with us, and she is the owner of Midlife Renaissance Collective. Dr. Arlonda Stevens equips and empowers women over 40 to embrace change, navigate life's transitions, and conquer the unique challenges that accompany midlife and reframe midlife from one of crisis and chaos to one of renewal and renaissance. All right. I love their intros there. So let's get started and meet our guests. Well, welcome, ladies. Oh, I'm so excited about having you all on the show this week. Thank you for being participants on the show this week. And it would not be public opinion if I did not have a public opinion question of the week. So I am going to read that question and then we'll get started. What is the best way to stay healthy while keeping busy in our season of 60? All right. I like that question because Vanetta and I need to know, because we plan on staying busy, but we also want to be healthy. And we are going to be talking about just looking forward. So if we're looking forward to the things that we want to do and the vision that we have for our future, then we need to also know how to do it in a healthy manner. So I'm going to give each one of you 2 minutes to answer that. And I'm going to give Dionne the opportunity to answer that first. Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Miss Vanetta and Miss Pamela, for having me this evening. And nice to meet you, Miss Stevens. The first thing I always tell people is to focus on de-stressing yourself. We're always worried about being busy. The first thing I tell you to do is relax your jaws, because we hold a lot of tension in our jaws. Relax those eyebrows and take your shoulders out of your ears. As my grandfather would tell me, they are not earrings. Relax your shoulders. And if you go throughout the day realizing that we are so tense, just the sheer fact of driving while Black causes tension in our bodies. Being mothers, being women in corporate America, retired, whatever, it causes that tension. And that stress and that tension is killing us. So my advice, first thing to stay healthy is to de-stress, starting with the relaxing of the jaws, the eyebrows, the facial muscles, and those shoulders. And that will set forth your day. And even throughout the day, when you're driving, notice, am I tense? Am I tense? Because you may not feel it, but your body is internalizing all of that tension and all of that stress. So that's the first way to be healthy so we can move forward. And the key word is movement. It's that simple. Just walking out of the bedroom is a blessing, because some people can't do that. So being grateful, de-stressing and being grateful, and just simple movements every day. If you have a desk job, get up every hour on the hour and move and stretch those legs for at least 5 minutes, because sitting is the new smoking. So those are my tips for staying healthy, simple things that don't cost you a dime.
Oh my goodness, that is excellent. I didn't even think about that, but you are, I can't wait till we have our whole little panel discussion, but you are absolutely right. All right, Arlonda, go ahead, Dr. Arlonda.
I love that. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me back on Public Opinion. It's such an honor to be here. But I would really echo what Ms. Jones said about de-stressing, because stress does kill. And then the other things are just some more practical things that we don't do is get enough sleep. We try and wear a badge of honor that we only slept 4 hours or 5 hours, but sleep is where our body refuels and refreshes itself. And so sleep is underrated. There's so many benefits to sleep. And so at our lovely age, we need to get 7, 8 hours of sleep. And I can tell you, I can tell when I've had sufficient sleep and when I haven't. I mean, you just wake up refreshed, just renewed, energized. And so we really need to get the right amount of sleep. And in preparing for sleep, having that downtime, have a bedtime routine to prepare yourself to sleep so you can have restful sleep. Because there's nothing worse than going to sleep and waking up exhausted and tired. So in addition to that, I would say stay hydrated. So important. Water, drink lots of water. And these are, like Ms. Dionne said, these are kind of basic things, but things that we tend to overlook when we're busy, when we're on the go, and we're filling our bodies with juice and pop and alcohol, but your body needs water. There's a large composition of our body is water. And so keeping hydrated with water. And then the other thing I would say is to stay on top of your appointments, right? At our age, go to the dentist every 6 months and get your mammogram. And if it's time for you to get a colonoscopy, whatever it is you're supposed to do, stay on top of that, because those little things can make a world of difference in diagnosing chronic diseases. But some of us don't want to go to the doctor because we're afraid to hear the bad
Yes.
news or what they're going to say. But health is
Yeah.
wealth, and one way to really prolong your life, to the extent that you can do what you can do to prolong it, is to keep up with your appointments.
Oh, that is good. Oh, you are. I tell you, we can end the show now. It's like, okay, the end. But oh my goodness, that is so. No, I love that, because you start out, Dionne. You start out saying stress, de-stress, and breathing, and just stopping and just taking time to relax. And then Arlonda, I love what you said about also you have to drink water. You have to make sure that oh, and you also said movement, Dionne. That's important. And staying busy, keeping up with your appointments. Vanetta and I were talking about how, because she said she has to get I guess a glaucoma test or something. And I said, well, don't you go to the eye doctor every year? And she was like, well, no, because I don't wear glasses and or contact. And I said, oh, for whatever reason, I just thought everybody went to the eye doctor every year. But there are appointments. Like tomorrow, I have a mammogram. But you have to keep up with everything, or else you were not going to be able to do the things that you want to do. So I am loving what you all say, and that bedtime routine.
Yeah. I love what she said, sitting is the new smoking.
Yes.
Like, that is just news to me, because I don't tend to get up that every hour, and I'm going to really put that into practice, because that was a way to equate it to something. I think smoking is a bad thing.
Oh no,
sitting is a bad thing.
I've heard that sitting is also sort of like eating several like cheeseburgers and stuff, because you don't burn your fat, it's adding fat to you. You got to get up and you got to stay, you got to keep moving. And so I am loving that. And so now, Dionne, you want to tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you are a movement. I want you to say your title again, because I love it.
Chief Movement Officer with Age with Vibrancy LLC.
Okay, as a Chief Movement Officer, what is it exactly that you do?
Well, it started with my own personal journey. I had become a wife, a mother, working full time, and I looked around and I was 200 pounds on this little 5'3" frame.
What?
And everything hurt. And I started going to the gym, but what I realized was I was not ready for the change. I wasn't ready to commit to health. So it took me 5 times to finally go to the gym and be serious and get healthy again, because it wasn't about being a size 2. It was just about being my size healthy, knowing my numbers. Another trigger for me was my children. We took a Christmas picture and we looked like the clumps. And I said, I'm killing my babies. I said, and that was the final trigger for me. I'm like, I can kill myself, but I'm not going to kill my children. So after that, I was just on a mission to help, especially Black women, because I belong to Black women organizations, and I go to conferences, and I go back to my room and I cry. Because I see how unhealthy we are.
Oh my God.
I was like, what can I do just from my little corner of the world? So I advocate movement.
Yes.
Starting with walking. It's just that simple. Walk the track. Then I have classes. I have fitness classes for women and men. that are over 50 because we don't work out the same as 20-year-olds. Some of us do,
Yeah.
but I don't need to do burpees to prove anything at this age.
Mm. Wow. That's amazing. Now, how long ago was it that you were at that weight?
12 years ago.
Wow. And you have and been able have been able to maintain it that long?
Yes.
That is, I mean, I salute you. There's so many people who are struggling now, and there a lot of people have turned to the the Ozempics and the other
Right.
the things that people use, and I'm not, that's not to put that down, but I just truly believe that you have to find a way to do things on your own, because you're not always going to have maybe that medication or whatever. You gotta, I think it's a mindset too, but that's wonderful. It really is. So I appreciate everything that you're doing, because as women in our midlives, we have to look we have to really look at our health seriously, so that we can do the things that we want to do. And so Vanetta and I, this is our last show of this season. And so what we were going to do for this show is just kind of talk about some of the things that we still want to do. So Vanetta was even telling me, you tell them about this trip that you want to take. I'm kind of jealous because I said, I want to go. I'm going to really start planning on doing some traveling.
Well, I've waited a long time for this. You've traveled domestically far more than I, but recently my baby graduated from college, and our common joke was we weren't going to lead a graduation. We were going to go from the graduation to the airport. We didn't do that. We actually came back home, and the next morning we went to the airport. Okay. And we changed all the locks so he couldn't get back in while we were out. And so we're now living our best life. I went to Dubai, as she said, and earlier in the year, I had gone on a cruise and went to a number of Caribbean islands. So this next June, 2024, I'm going to Europe with my sorority sisters. Those AKAs do it right. So we're going to a couple different countries for 8 days, and then we're going to stay. My husband and I are going to stay a few days in Venice. So we're excited about this. But I mean, these are well planned, and we've been waiting to do this. And then in 2025, my mother turns 80. So we're going to take her to Hawaii for her Mother's Day that year.
Well, I'm going that year too.
You're going to Hawaii.
Yeah,
correct.
I'm going to go to Hawaii with you all. For me, what I want to do, at least looking for next year, I want to do some things. First of all, I want to do some things around my house that I have been planning on doing. But then I also want to just to go on short trips, getaways, because I just think it's still important, even if we don't do these grand, elaborate things, to still get away from the house and start reconnecting. My husband and I have been empty nesters now for, I don't know, maybe 8 years or so. I don't know. Has it been that long?
Yeah,
My daughter,
at least that.
But she's been kind of back and forth, but I love being an empty nester. Some people say, "Oh, I miss I miss having the kid." I'm like, maybe there's something wrong with me. I don't know, but I don't miss having kids in my house all the time. But I want to do that. But I want to go to like Paris. I want to do European trips too. I want to do just things where I just don't do anything some days. But I still want.
But you do a lot of junkets, like quick getaways. You go downtown and stay at the hotel.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to do that where I go at least out of the city and do some things, But and then I still want to do stuff with the podcast. I would love to do more things, go around interviewing people, on the spot. So there's just a lot of things that I still want to do. But that's why. And Arlonda, I want you to speak to this vision board, because Arlonda was talking about a vision board when we talked before. And I want you to talk about a vision board and like, what does that mean? What does that entail?
Okay. When you were talking about everything, I'm like, yep, that all goes on a vision board. So I'm sure we've all seen vision boards, heard about vision boards, but really a vision board is just a collection of pictures, song lyrics, anything that inspires and motivates you. that portrays the future of what you want to be or what you want to do. And so studies have shown that there's so many positive benefits to having a vision board. One, it allows for, self-awareness and self-reflection. And so you have right in front of you, it's usually like on a poster board, but you display it someplace that you see it on a daily basis. And so when you look at it, you should be inspired, and it shows like what's important to you at that time. And so there's the good thing, there's no right or wrong way to do a vision board. And you can do a vision board about anything. You could do it about your love life or your career or, any piece of part. So I've been doing vision boards for years. And it's a thing, a dedicated thing that I do. And, sometimes I just, cut out pictures, and it's just a visualization of the future I want to create for myself, right? So there's so many benefits to a vision board, right? It allows you to bring some clarity to what you want. When you start going through the magazines or sayings, you can like, yep, I want that. No, I don't want that, right? If you see a boat and a Tesla, right? And you're just like, no, that's not, so that doesn't resonate with you. So it really helps to just kind of bring that clarity to what it is that you want. And I have gone further. Pam, you mentioned the conference. And so we did a spinoff of the vision board was an affirmation board.
Oh, I like
because
that.
I found that we usually have a vision, like you just stated, things you wanted to do, and then I talked about places. So it's not that we don't always have a vision, but somewhere along the way we get stuck, right? Or we don't move into action for whatever reason. And so this affirmation board that the ladies put together were those affirmations, those quotes that inspire you. Sometimes it may come up, well, I'm not going to take the trip because I can't afford it, or I don't deserve it, or, whatever it is that comes up for us. And sometimes it comes up.
Too busy with work or something.
Too busy. So these affirmations, kind of help to motivate and encourage you. And then I've moved into ask-formations, ASK, ask-formations. And with the ask-formation, because one thing about an affirmation, if you say, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, right? I am rich. Sometimes there's something that you don't really believe it, right? And you say, I'm rich, but you're like, no, I'm not. My checking account is overdrawn, right? So an ask-formation is, how is it that my checking account is so full and abundant? Because what happens when you ask a question, your subconscious looks for a way to answer that question. And so an ask-formation opens up opportunities, exploration, curiosity, right? And so it trains your mind, teaches your mind to look at things in a different way.
Oh, I love that.
I love it.
And ask-formation.
Okay.
Ask-formation.
Yeah. I like that. And so with the affirmations, are you still like just cutting out like words of
I have
words?
I purchased some cards. So I mean, you could buy vision board packets on Amazon. And so I just purchased a variety of motivation affirmation cards. But it's nothing like going through the magazines and cutting out the old-fashioned way.
Yes.
And just really
Well,
seeing
Vanetta, maybe
what
we
you
should
want.
invite some people, and we can have some ladies over.
A vision board party. They do have those. I've heard of those.
Yes.
I've been to several.
Really?
I think last year I did 3 vision boards.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, then you have to come to ours.
That's a great idea. And then
do they have wine?
Oh, of course we gotta have
wine. You can have wine,
okay.
A little bit of food.
And you know what?
Really...
And we're gonna have Dionne come, and we can do some exercising.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all about that synergy.
Yes. No, seriously, we can, because like I said, you know, I love what you said, Dionne, when you said you went to a lot of events and it made you sad. I go to a lot of events, and I have to say this, I with a lot of women, especially women of color. And I look around the room sometimes and I'm like, these are all heart attacks waiting to happen. I mean, it just makes no sense. I mean, I understand there's some, you know, but there's we have to do better. We do. We have to do better. And I'm not saying that only large women have health issues. A lot of very small women who have health issues. But that's why it's just important to take care of your health. But you certainly are not doing yourself any justice when you're just helping yourself to, you know, so much food and just not really being moving. So we do have to look out for each other. We got to look out for our physical health, our emotional health, our mental health, you know, and so all of that. And that's why I'm loving this whole conversation, because you both are talking about things that speak to all of those health, the emotional, mental, and physical health. Because I think with a vision board, that helps with your emotional health as well. Because you're saying, you can keep a lot of stuff up in your head and say, I would like to do this, I like to do that. But I think when you actually sit down and put it down, either by way of writing or creating something, and you still have a visual reminder of my vision. Okay, I'm gonna hang it on the wall and put it, I'm gonna look at this and come back to it and say, wait a minute, I said I was gonna do this, or, you know, I said I was gonna do that.
Yeah, to put it up in front of you, to me, putting it in writing makes it real. And I can remember when I was looking for a new employer, I had a vision up there, what I wanted in that job, what I wanted to make, the hours I wanted to work, how far from home, everything. And I just kept, you know, speaking it into existence. And I do think it helps. I also, like, you know, you speak about being rich in the respect that I try to be grateful in my rich, because I'm healthy. My children are healthy and strong. They're educated. So I know I'm rich. So when I'm very intentional when I ask for financial gains, to say, I want it to come from a good place. Okay. I want it to come to me by way of hitting the lottery versus the loss of a loved one, you know.
Right.
So I think we have to be very intentional as we age, because words have power.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes, they do.
Definitely.
Yes, they do. Yeah. But now you raised a good point when you talked about, you know, seeing it right in front of you, and it helps to bring focus, right? Because what you focus on is what expands, right? And so if you every day you see that vision of whatever it is, you know, you begin to think on that, and you know it's positive, right? The vision for your future is positive, it's forward thinking, and so being able to see that on a daily basis, you know, I have another board where I have a bunch of just nothing but quotes, right? Or things that motivate me, and it's right above my mirror. So, you know, when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I'm looking at it, right? And, you know, just different things. And it's funny how I come back to it, right? It's like, oh, you know, because I put a date of when you know, when I added it to my board. But, you know, when you read it, it's like exactly what you need for that day. And it's so important, Pam, what you said, that the emotional health.
Yes. It really, really is. Well, I'm so sorry. We are coming to the end of this conversation, unfortunately, but I do want to give both of you opportunity to say anything that you want to say, if by way of closing. So, Dionne, is there anything else you want to say?
I just want to say, put yourself first. It's not selfish. If you have a hard time with that, set it as an appointment and put it on your calendar, because some people are driven by those calendars. So make yourself an appointment every day to spend at least 5 minutes just recentering yourself. That's it.
I love that. Make an appointment for yourself. You know what? I never even thought of that. And that's so important. Make an appointment, maybe even if it's to soak your feet. Okay. I'm gonna take this time, I'm gonna soak my feet, or I'm gonna burn a candle. I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna read a few chapters of a book that I've been wanting to read. I am going to read my Bible, or
Right.
even make my own affirmations. So I love that.
But I like what she also said. It's not selfish, because I look at things
Yes.
like my son, the same one, like, oh, you're traveling a lot. You sure have a lot
My
of money. No,
godson, okay.
okay, yeah. But no, I don't have a lot of money. What I don't have is college tuitions any longer. And so I have opportunities I didn't have. And this was offensive and funny to me all in the same. I had some little UGG slip-on shoes. He was like, look at you with some UGG shoes. I remember you used to get all your shoes from TJ Maxx. I was like, how dare you say that? But what he didn't respect is the sacrifice. So now it's my time.
Yes.
Now I don't have to go to TJ Maxx. I now bought me some good shoes.
Exactly. And right, where they'll think, okay, you all must have hit the lottery. You're doing all this stuff to the house and stuff. No, we don't have all of the expenses that we had when you all were around, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite the sacrifice being a, you know, if you're gonna be a decent parent, you're gonna make some sacrifice. No, you can make some sacrifice unless you just wealthy, you know. I mean, you know, but for us, you know, middle class income people, you know, there's certain things and decisions and sacrifices that you make for your children, and you thank God that you live to be able to do some things after you've done all of this. And that's another thing we do have to understand is we kind of have to take care of ourselves throughout all of this. You can't just wait. Okay, now I'm going to start looking after me. You know, it's really something that we should be doing all along, you know. And Dr. Arlonda, is anything else you want to say?
I would just agree. I am a self-care queen. You know, several years ago, I make sure because self-care it makes the whole system work, right? Self-care is part of the ecosystem, right? Because when you're refreshed and rejuvenated, right, you can be a better parent, spouse, employee, worker, owner, business, whatever it is, right? And so I would just say that to me is another one of the keys to staying healthy, is to do what it takes to make you feel refreshed and rejuvenated.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you, ladies, so very much. I have enjoyed it. I have no question that our audience is going to really enjoy this and appreciate the things that you all said, because I know I do, and I'm going to actually do a lot of the things that you all said, especially the breathing part. I mean, you know, it's so true. Sometimes I do find myself being tense, you know, and then I say to myself, well, let me relax.
The shoulder one is me.
But I love
my
it.
Shoulders and my
and you're
my jaw. And I even find it at night. I wake up sometime, I'm clenching my jaw.
Grind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I never thought of that, but I'm going to make a conscious effort of starting each day breathing and trying to relax. And even maybe doing some meditation as well. But I have really enjoyed this conversation. And thank you, ladies, so very much.
You ladies are deep.
Oh, I enjoyed that conversation, Vanetta.
It was right what we needed to. It's a great way to end the year, being prepared for the new year.
Being prepared for the new year. We learned some strategies and things that we have to do to stay healthy and to keep busy while keeping busy.
Because it's easy to wallow around, especially with winter coming. And so I've got to remember to move.
Oh, no, you have got to move now, Vanetta.
I've got to move. The dog helps me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, if you're actually walking.
Yeah.
Or her. Yeah. But yeah, you got to get out. And then I love what she said about centering our minds and de-stressing. You know, I like what Arlonda said about making sure that we are getting enough sleep and getting enough water. And but it's true, we just have to take care of ourselves. But I hope that you all have enjoyed this show as much as we have. If you enjoy watching us, continue to follow us on Facebook as well as YouTube. And if you cannot watch the show, listen on the go wherever you get your podcast. Till next time, we will see you for a new season of the Public Opinion Show. Enjoy your holidays, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.